It brings us to Alan Hahn's Knicks Fix. He joins us in the Squarespace studio. Al Troutwig back on the Chase Bridge. Your reaction to the starting changes?
It's not surprising because if you remember at the end of the preseason, David Fizdale said that he would still treat the first couple of weeks of the regular season as some preseason games and take a look at different lineups because of the situation the team is in and trying to evaluate talent, and they really weren't set on a starting five. So when you see the way the Knicks have started these games the last couple of nights where the starting five has not been very good, and he did hint to making changes, you expected there would be. But to have this many young players, now you expect a lot of energy early on against the Warriors team in a building that'll be filled, so it should be a fun start to the game.
Knicks are trying to build something. How about you refresh our memory how the Warriors pulled it off?
Yeah, I think I like to do this every year the Warriors come to town, is just to remind people of what this is like, that dynasties aren't built overnight. Now, you had the Miami Heat built overnight. The Celtics were built overnight, but those were short-lived. What the Warriors are doing, it's long-term because it took long-term to get here. It starts, of course, as we all remember, in 2009 with the draft of Steph Curry. But as you look here at the drafts that they had, that's a lottery pick, a lottery pick, a lottery pick. That's 4 years of losing you had to endure. Now, by 2013, they didn't have any more first-round picks, but the foundation, as you see right there, had been laid. And getting that second-round pick in Draymond Green obviously was a huge thing as well. But the Warriors went into free agency in 2013 looking to make a big splash for the first time to add a player to that team. So what did they do? They tried to get Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard said no to them, so they kind of failed their first attempt. So their plan B was Andre Iguodala. That obviously worked out very well. He was the final piece of the puzzle. Now, just to catch you up where the Knicks are, 3 lottery picks on the roster. They could be in the lottery again this year, depends on how this season goes. A couple of second-round picks, and Damian Dotson and Mitchell Robinson starting tonight. And, of course, Alonzo Trier as well. So the process takes time if you want to win a championship, and that's what the Knicks are going through right now.
Getting free agents to come to New York. Enes Kanter has a theory.
He does, and it's an interesting one. Now, obviously, as we talk about the building process and we talk about free agency, the Knicks are going to have cap space this summer, and we all know about the billboard out on 7th Avenue for Kevin Durant, and Kevin has talked about it. So the Knicks, of course, are going to try to make a splash this summer with Durant or others. And Enes Kanter and I were talking about this because he said he was surprised about how, before he became a Knick, the reaction to what it is from players around the league about playing in New York. In fact, what he told me was people are scared to play in New York. And I said, you got to explain that to me. And he said, I don't know, it's a weird thing. I remember when I played for Oklahoma or Utah, a lot of my teammates were scared to go to the Knicks. And I said, why is that? I never got that. He went on to say, I think maybe there's more pressure. Everybody's watching you and you don't want to make mistakes. Now, we also know that perception is something here as well. The awkward way Carmelo Anthony's career ended here, the Phil Jackson era, are all things that have contributed to some of the issues the Knicks have had in drawing players here. But that's one thing that Scott Perry and Steve Mills have been working on, and it's something they're hoping that players come here because they want the opponent to be scared. That's the idea.
Okay, I have some NBA betting advice. Take the over.
It's true. We're seeing a trend right now in scoring around the league. Now, we're only a week in, but it's really pretty amazing when you look at the numbers. So right now, just 1 week into the season, the scoring average around the league is 112.3 points per game. Now, last year, 106 is a pretty high number, and it's incrementally growing as we're showing you here. Over the last couple of years, as pace and a three-point shot has become a big part of it. So, of course, you know, you think about, is there a problem with defense around the league? Now, Clyde will tell you that this is nothing. You know, from his era, you think about teams were scoring 110 points per game back then. In the Knicks championship, the first championship season, the league average was 116.4. But still, those teams did play defense, as we know. So I think the question is around the league, is more offense fun, or do we miss sometimes seeing good defense as well?
I think it's the way the players like to play the game.
It's true.